Is this on?
Yeah.
It's on.
Oh, we're
Super.
good. We're good to go.
So, Paji, introduction. Super. Why don't you go first?
No, you're going to go first.
I'm going to go first. All right. My name is Deepak Tomar, and I have background in a very boring industry, but very exciting industry nonetheless, investment banking. And from there, I ventured into becoming a startup founder. And while all of this is happening in the background, I secretly continued admiring luxury, and there's a different pull about luxury which is very, very unique, and a sliver of that we will cover through the world of watches today, along with my dear friend Karan Datta.
Hi, my name is Karan Datta, and first of all, I'm just so excited being out here at the Ethos head office in Delhi. It's just a gorgeous place, and I actually felt as if I'm like a kid in a toy store. And just like Deepak mentioned, I've been in the industry of asset management and mutual funds for about 2 decades, and that world is all about finance and managing money, etc. But what I truly love doing is also collecting great timepieces, and that's what we are going to discuss today.
Now you tell me, and there's a very interesting story, and here's the thing, every time Karan and I we are buying watches, we talk about those. And many times I get a call from Karan, I'm in Bombay, and says ki, Paji, how's this? I'm buying this, etc., etc. And then there's a conversation. So come to Hublot.
Yeah, I mean, the Big Bang, just a truly exceptional pace. And I have been looking at the Hublot for a while, and had been looking at the Hublot for a while. Just the characteristics of the watch. And I think, Deepak, it's fair to say that no one has been able to put gold and rubber together as well as what Hublot has done.
Right.
And that really was remarkable workmanship.
Yeah.
And then the complications, etc. on the Hublot. The vibrancy of the colors, the vibrancy of watchmaking is something that really attracted me to Hublot. It was always on my mind, but I was not. I was a little hesitant because I was not sure of the size, etc. Because it sits very well. That's the background. And then, of course, one fine day,
it's
I
very
found
prominent.
this piece. It's very prominent.
Yeah.
And I really thought very hard about it. The great part of this purchase was that it is the one piece I have used the most rough, in the most rough conditions. And it's really stood by me in all conditions.
Yeah.
And sometimes you accuse me of not wearing it very often, but whenever I've done, it's been in really tough conditions. Under the sea, actually even during hang gliding.
Okay.
So this watch has a lot of history, and I would recommend a Hublot to anyone who's looking for a rough and tough, great manufacturing quality, craftsmanship, and like I said, very rarely do people get elements like rubber and gold together.
Yeah, and might I just add, when it comes to Hublot, it's very important to also touch upon the person who really brought the brand to this kind of image and recognition, Jean-Claude Biver. See, for the longest time, it was Omega, which the brand really was at all these events like Olympics, etc.
Or for that matter, went to the moon.
I mean that's like a ultimate sport. But all these sporting events, from a branding point of view, like for example, Rolex is present at Wimbledon and certain other.
Hublot's kind of tracked that story.
Hublot tracked that story because Jean-Claude Biver decided, let's capture FIFA World Cups. So all the FIFA matches you'll see
only
Hublot. And that's the thing they captured. And now Hublot is seen on all the top athletes like Mbappe and our 100-meter sprinter Usain Bolt, yeah, etc. So Hublot, tremendous story, and you will not go wrong with, if ever anybody is buying a Hublot, they will not go wrong with it. And in fact, the attractiveness is with this chunky, super sexy, juicy timepiece.
Very, very, very pretty timepiece, and I've never regretted wearing it.
Super. What next?
From a super chunky watch, I'm going to dive straight into something completely classy, dressy, very pretty. I know you love both of them, but I'll go with the Moser first. Tell me more about the Moser, because it is spectacular. the look and feel, the colors, the vibrancy, and then the occasion around wearing a Moser. Tell me more about the Moser.
So the current CEO is very, very interesting. He runs this brand in a very unconventional way. He released a video where he was talking to a marketing agency. You should see that video. It's really funny. He fires and he asked every marketing agency to disappear because they were not coming up with interesting ideas. That video is very funny, and that video tells you how the brand, how people at the helm of this brand, they run it, and that is seen now. And Moser, top quality. In terms of the mechanics, the internals of it, the movements are really high quality movements. And one of the things that stands out about Moser is the minimalism aspect of it. Really minimal. I mean, if you see their this is their tourbillon, okay, and top of the line tourbillon, and the dial, the fume dials that they have done, those are unbelievable. They had done this ultra black dial recently. There was this watch they've done. I don't remember what it is called, but Vanta Black. Yes, thank you, Vanta Black. I mean, that's outstanding. I mean,
I think no one has cracked dial colors as they have done.
As they have. And in fact, they have this perpetual calendar. That perpetual calendar is so minimal, you wouldn't probably realize unless you're using it that it is a perpetual calendar.
And what is really remarkable is that the sales and the acceptance for these pieces has really gone up. It's really good to see that.
It is, yeah, absolutely. Because you see, Karan, we are in a certain journey. Every watch collector or people who love watches, everybody has his or her own journey, and at different junctures, people get attracted by different watches. That's what Moser is. I always will advise anybody who's looking at haute horloge, high timepiece. Moser is definitely there.
That's on Moser.
Yeah, that's on Moser. So why don't you touch upon your Bell & Ross? You keep talking about your papa's your papa's, what do you call, afterglow, the Air Force and etc. Afterglow. वो थोड़ा सा आप भी लेते हो.
The afterburner.
Afterburner आप भी लेते हो थोड़ा सा उसका
The tagline on a Bell & Ross is from the cockpit to the wrist.
Yeah.
It just blew my mind when I first read about Bell & Ross. And the background is that my father is a fighter pilot, and he's fought in 2 wars and has flown some of the most advanced military aircrafts of his genre. And when I saw something which said from the cockpit to the wrist, I had to own it. Because my love for aircrafts is more than my love for my profession.
Yeah.
And what Bell & Ross have done is extreme watches. They haven't stopped at something which is mundane and
very unique, very different. The first the quintessential Bell & Ross, very square, right out of the cockpit. One of those, what do you call, indicators.
If you just put all the Bell & Ross watches together and you step back, you are inside a cockpit.
Correct.
And it is true, the French pilots wear Bell & Ross, the Rafale pilots, in fact, we now got the Rafale aircraft in India. The Rafale pilots wear the Bell & Ross, as do some American pilots wear Bremont, right? So it's like this fascination of pilots to wear pilot watches. So people have gone beyond just making watches, they made it specifically for certain aircrafts also.
Right.
And that is the story about Bell & Ross. They've done extreme conditions. They've mastered the art of not just doing for aircrafts. They've done it for even people who are involved in racing vehicles.
Because there's high G-force on it, etc.
Exactly. Because the conditions that you wearing these watches has to be absolutely good enough for them not to fall apart. So that's a bit of a story on the Bell & Ross. In fact, the Bell & Ross book, the book that kind of shows the pieces, it looks like as if I'm going through aviation book history.
Right.
I'm going to come to a piece I want you to talk about, which you're wearing these days. When I first saw it, I wanted to rob it, which I'm going to do anyway, because there are 2 things in this, and I am going to definitely rob it. There are 2 things that I think are remarkable about this. A, what the Japanese have done with brand Seiko, and B, talk to me about this particular piece.
Super. All right, no,
It
super.
is mind-blowing. And when I first saw the color,
So Karan is talking about the Grand Seiko, and in my watch buying journey, I mean, for a very long time, I had been eyeing a Grand Seiko, and until a couple of years back, the brand was for purists of sorts, and suddenly it is breaking out and getting attention from a lot of people who are not just purists. They love watches and they want to wear a great timepiece. So GS is getting there. But I think it is still a bit undervalued. I'll tell you why. I think Seiko as a company has really done remarkable things in terms of making movements. And this one, by the way, is a spring drive movement. And if you go and read about spring drive, this whole part will probably blow away because of the things of the high-tech stuff they have done, fusing quartz and mechanical movements and how energy is released, so on and so forth. Grand Seiko, this piece is called Omiwatari, right? Omiwatari in Japanese means the divine pathway, okay? And they've taken inspiration from this lake, Iowa. What is the lake? I don't remember the exact name of the lake, but there is a certain pattern that emerges on the ice. They've taken this phrase, Omiwatari. Questions were asked whether they have done justice, and boy, they have done more than justice that they could deliver. One, I think the Grand Seiko finishing is second to none.
I think it's right up there.
Right? Some people might say that it's an exaggeration. To me, it is not an exaggeration. It is right up there with the Holy Trinity and so on and so forth. If you look at the indices and the hands, it's probably just like the katana. Yeah, and if you look at the back of the watch, it is just like a Credor. Credor is their top of the line watches from Seiko, selling at $50,000 plus. This watch is just like that. So and it is now already being touted as the best GS has created yet. So that's what this whole story about GS is, and everybody knows.
You used to own it once upon a time.
So GS is known to really have given a tough time to the Swiss watch industry in terms of really coming up with the innovations and really making it coming to the fore with a lot of force. Brought quartz, and that started the quartz movement. And then Swiss watch brands had to do a lot to come back to the game. Now everybody's
got to hand it to the Japanese.
Yeah, it had to. So this is what they do, right? They take Karan, tum kya karte ho? This is what you do well. Okay,
let's make it 10 times better.
Give it to me, and then they will make it even better. They get le Karan.
Actually, what? I'm digressing, but Deepak, if you look at Seiko also.
Why, absolutely.
They do phenomenal work at that price point.
They are. It's so for a lot of watch buyers who are probably the first time watch buyers
looking for great value.
Great value, and not just value. Okay, not just value.
My God, form
really
and function.
Top-notch watches. There's this watch they have released a couple of weeks or a couple of months back. It's the Seiko Prospects, all green bezel, green dial. It is out of this world, and it is at 1.5 lakhs, roughly. It's just crazy, okay? So Seiko is a very, very different animal, does a lot of stuff, interesting stuff, and which is I tremendous respect for them, and love the watches that they produce and the work they do on their dials.
Fun time discussing all of that.
Fun time, and
and great stories of
great stories.